Little Nightmares is an atmospheric side-scrolling platformer that received a much-deserved sequel after the first game became a hit. This atmospheric title takes no prisoners, ensuring that players are scared out of their wits as they circumvent numerous challenges and get through each stage by the skin of their teeth. It's a game that will click with most players who like short and immersive experiences. It knows how to pace its scares and genuinely horrify players instead of delivering cheap frights. Most fans of this game will be glad to know that there are many other titles like it available to dive into. What's going on, everyone? Geoffrey here, welcome to Game Rant. In this video, I'll be showcasing 10 games to play if you happen to enjoy Little Nightmares 2. Number 10, Omori. Omori is one of the greatest modern RPGs, featuring a mind-bending plot, a cute art style, and one of the most unique integrations of horror seen in any game to date. Uncovering the story of Sonny and figuring out why he became a shut-in to begin with makes for a tantalizing tale as players help him face his trauma and become fast friends with the group once again. The game is not for the faint-hearted and deals with many disturbing themes. The manner in which Sonny's traumatic past is uncovered makes for a great time, and that's not the only strength of this title. The music is simply sublime and conveys the lightheartedness of the world that Sonny retreats into while also becoming quite sinister as players explore the more horrific aspects of this game. Number 9, Inscryption. Inscryption is a game that will take many people by surprise, disguising itself as a regular card game before revealing its true nature in a horrifying manner that will shock players to their very core as they try to uncover the depths of this mystery. The gameplay elements of Inscryption are truly one of a kind and worth checking out for fans of imaginative horror titles. The game is a great example of what indie developers can achieve with unshackled restrictions and boundless creativity. Fans of horror games owe it to themselves to check out Inscryption, especially if they are fans of Little Nightmares 2. However, gamers should keep in mind that this title can get pretty scary at times, even more so than Little Nightmares. Number 8, Machinarium. Machinarium may not be a horror title, but the mysterious and engrossing nature of this world, coupled with its riveting art style, make it a game that fans of unique adventure games should definitely check out. The puzzles in Machinarium can be pretty challenging to overcome, but players who try out all the logical permutations and combinations should be able to get through this game without getting too frustrated. Now, what sells Machinarium is its expressive design and animation, making everything come to life in the best way possible. It takes something really special to make a steampunk world stand out with no humans whatsoever, and Machinarium managed to do exactly that while gripping players in a unique adventure that is entertaining from start to end. Number 7, Detention. Set during the White Terror period of 1960s Taiwan, Detention is one of the scariest video games ever created. Its distinctive art style does an excellent job of creating a moody and unsettling atmosphere, while the fantastically designed Lingered pose an ever-present and terrifying threat for players to attempt to navigate. Rarely do all of the elements of a game fit together quite as neatly as the ones found here, nor are there many other games capable of maintaining their suspense levels anywhere near as effectively. There are times when playing the game can feel a little like psychological torture, although gradually learning about the history of the cursed school while edging ever closer toward the inevitable tragedy arguably makes it all worthwhile. Number 6, Among the Sleep. Krillbyte Studios' fantastic survival horror title Among the Sleep came about following a successful Kickstarter campaign back in 2013, and it didn't disappoint. The decision to place players in the shoes of a toddler rather than a fully grown adult raises the stakes quite a bit when it comes to some of the game's darker moments, while the game's use of lighting, color, and sound is masterful at times. Granted, the story is a little short and there aren't all that many truly scary moments, but a lot of the horror found in Among the Sleep is derived not from jump scares, but instead through implication. There are a few nice twists and turns in the narrative as well, while the alternate ending found in the enhanced edition of the game provides a harrowing conclusion that's befitting of such an excellent game. Number 5, Limbo. At the beginning of Little Nightmares 2, players have to avoid the dangers that Mono faces in a forest until he finally arrives at the cabin where he meets Six. Playdead's Limbo is another creepy platformer that takes place in a forest, and it boasts plenty of similar obstacles to the ones found in Little Nightmares 2. Players control a young boy who needs to solve puzzles, with each one being harder than the last. It all makes for an excellent adventure that will keep the player glued firmly to the edge of their seat right through to the end of the game. The title also has a very simplistic yet unique art style that many will find likely very, very appealing. Number 4, It Takes Two. Although it's definitely not a horror game by any means, It Takes Two should appeal to those who enjoy the cooperative mechanics of Little Nightmares 2, as well as the unfolding relationship between Six and Mono. It's an engaging and entertaining experience, especially if players team up with a friend or loved one cooperatively as opposed to matching up with a random stranger online. There's a lot to see and enjoy in the beautifully designed world of It Takes Two. Many can consider it a great foil to Little Nightmares 2 as it features the same premise of two small individuals trying to make their way through a larger-than-life world filled with danger and puzzles. Number 3. Inside. Another game made by Playdead is Inside, which is basically Limbo's spiritual successor. In fact, many players think that it's even better than the studio's first game. The setting also shares more than a few similarities with Pale City from Little Nightmares 2, and the game even begins, once again, in a dark and daunting forest. The unnamed protagonist of the game finds out that people are being controlled by researchers and uses one of their devices to manipulate the actions of others to solve the many puzzles found throughout the game. Like the Little Nightmares games, many things are up for interpretation, causing fans to create many theories as to what is actually going on. Number 2. Bendy and the Ink Machine. Bendy and the Ink Machine takes place in Joey Drew Studios, where cartoon characters such as Alice, Boris, and the Devil Darling himself can be found. Henry, a man who worked at the studio and created these characters, comes back to it years after leaving and finds that his creations have not only come to life, but are also trying to murder him. Players are placed in the shoes of Henry and must fight off the animated characters as they explore Joey Drew Studios in this awesome little indie title. The daunting atmosphere does a wonderful job of creating suspense right through to the very end, and it's this ever-present tension that helped make the game such a big hit with both players and streamers alike upon its initial release. Number 1. Unravel. If Little Nightmares didn't have any horror elements, it would be a lot like Unravel. As such, the game is great for those who don't want to be constantly freaked out but are still looking for an excellent and atmospheric adventure. They'll be controlling Yarny, a creature made, of course, out of yarn, as they explore the memories of an elderly woman. Some of these memories are good, others are bad, but just about every aspect of this puzzle platformer is downright beautiful, both in its design and its presentation. The protagonist and his friends are charming, the controls are simple yet effective, and the soundtrack perfectly complements everything that's going on screen. And there we have it, everyone, a great selection of games to check out if you happen to like Little Nightmares 2. Thank you so much for watching this video from Game Rant. Be sure to stay tuned to all sorts of other top-notch gaming content, including more lists, news, reviews, guides, originals, and so much more right here on Game Rant. Have a truly wonderful and happy day, everyone. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.